first late in a long time, so you're gonna pass.
Yeah, you get one pass, Mayor. One pass.
You waited till the second to the
Because
last
you always
minute.
give us a hard
Right?
time.
You're right. Call the meeting of December 5th, 2023 to order. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your hand over your heart. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Yes, Mayor. Quorum is present for the City Council, Successor Agency, Housing Authority, and Joint Powers Authority.
All right. Councilwoman Gray will be absent today due to the death of a loved one, and we'll close the meeting in memory of her life partner, Leonard Tibbs. But for those of you that want to view the meeting, on Spectrum Cable Channel 35, there's limited audio and video. Well, there's full audio and limited video. We can be seen live online through Facebook Live with audio and limited video at www.facebook.com /City of Inglewood /. With that, any persons wishing to address the City Council, Successor Agency, Housing Authority, JPA on any item on today's agenda may do so at this time. 3 minutes. With that, we'll close public comment. Item 1, CSA 1. Oh, excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir. Didn't see you. Yes, sir, right there, right behind the glass.
All right. Good afternoon. I just wanted to make public comment on one of the agenda items to revise how ADUs are designed in the city of Inglewood. There's allegedly single-family homeowners are calling
Yeah,
for.
that's the public hearing, Mayor.
That's a public hearing. So right now, we won't be talking about that. When I call PH1, then there'll be time for you to make comment on that.
Okay.
This is just the regular agenda.
Just open comments. Okay.
Well, not, actually, this is agenda. Open comments are at the end, but you'll hear me call for the public hearing, and then you come back up.
All
All right? Okay, with that, we'll close public comment. And now, Madam Clerk, what's the next scheduled matter?
Yes, Mayor. The next scheduled matter,
Oh, excuse me. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
warrant register.
Move allow payments.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members, successor agency members, and housing authority members, Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Fogg. Aye. Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. Now, Madam Clerk, what's the next scheduled matter?
Yes, Mayor. The next scheduled matter is a public hearing to consider introduction of an ordinance approving zoning code amendment number 23-00006 to establish regulations for accessory dwelling units in Chapter 12 of the Inglewood Municipal Code citywide.
Has the notice of the hearing been given in the time, form, and manner as required by law? And do you have the affidavit on file?
Notice has been given and an affidavit is on file.
Have any communications been received on the matter?
No communications have been received, Mayor.
And now, sir, you already know the way up there. Now, is there any public comment? It's your floor.
Yes, it was brought to my attention that this call for modification to what's allowed in ADU construction is because single-family homeowners had issue with two-story ADUs compromising their privacy to their backyards. As a residential designer, a long time, and also now a 30-year homeowner in Inglewood, I really oppose that opposition for a number of reasons, and I'll try and be brief. One of the things with backyard ADUs, because they are two-story, yes, they can look over their backyard, over neighboring backyards, but two-story homes do the same thing, and one will still be able to have an ADU above your single-family home, which it looks into backyards and neighboring properties. And so the issue would not be changed. Another really large problem with starting to do away with a second story ADU is I have clients that would like to do their ADU above their garages and maintain them. And what this pushes you to do is do your ADUs on ground level only, which starts to take away more on-site parking. And so that's a big issue. Another problem is putting everybody in the same bag because multifamily homes have different issues than single family homes. I myself have a duplex and I back a commercial lot. So I'm looking over at a commercial lot. My two-story duplex is looking at my neighbor one way or the other. We're looking at each other's backyards. And I think people should really start to think about the fact that we are in suburban areas. We're not in Malibu, we're not in Montana, we have 50 by 100-foot lots in most cases. And yes, when we look out our side windows, we can see each other. When we look out, we see our backyards, we see other backyards. I'm not fixated on my neighbor's backyard. So to start to do this causes some real problems with a few of my clients that have larger multifamily home, not multifamily homes, but large apartment complexes. They don't even have a backyard. They have backyard space. And I have one client in particular that is trying to maintain his carports and build ADUs above it to maintain the parking. If everyone has to put their ADUs on ground level, you start to have a rippling of a number of other issues, and it still doesn't solve the privacy in my backyard or neighbor's backyard because we can still see each other. So I would caution those to think about that. And lastly, in closing, just if
Well, actually,
something-
you were supposed to close about half a minute ago.
if if these are things that get put into effect, that hopefully they're put into effect with a 60-day or 3-month period, so projects that are in the pipeline don't find out last minute
Okay.
that this is effective immediately. So thank you
Okay.
for the extended time.
All right, thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Council. My first time up here. I just wanted to let you guys know. My name is
Welcome.
Giovanna. Thank you. My name is Giovanna Grimes. I'm a native to the Inglewood area, 20-year custody officer for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, and more importantly, the new owner of the Inglewood UPS that's located at 112 South Market Street.
What was the name?
My name?
No, the name of the business?
The UPS store.
Oh, the UPS store,
Yes, sir. I
okay.
wanted to introduce us
Well,
to you.
welcome.
Thank you. I came today to thank you and the council for all that you're doing in the city. I see the change and look forward to embracing it. If not for the reassurance of the city as a whole, I wouldn't be able to open the store, the UPS store, in the city that I love so much. We at the UPS store are in a business of providing to the community shipping services, packing, printing, basic computer skills, notary, Amazon returns, more importantly, and a host of other beneficial services. We strive to be the one-stop shop for Inglewood, bringing franchises to the community.
I know.
Bringing the franchise to the community population, we were looking to encourage more businesses to entrust in the city of Inglewood, and you, Mayor Butts, for laying the foundation to take chances, build, flourish, and be successful. So we thank you for that. And just for the community, we'll be having a grand opening in January, mid-January. We hope to see you guys there to support.
You're very, very welcome.
Thank
You know, I know you're new. This is like a public hearing, but you did fine. What you did just great.
I'm trying.
And anybody that compliments me, they can talk whenever they want. So come on, thank you very much. Is there any more public comment on the public hearing?
Good afternoon. I don't know if this is the correct time, but I'm a tenant. Is
O-
this the-
Okay, so wait a minute. Are you going to talk about the ADU ordinance?
Some of that, as well as some of the issues I've been having as a tenant.
Okay, so then it'd probably be best if you waited till the end, and then we can talk about anything that you want.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, we'll close the public comment. Now we'll have the staff report.
Mr. Bernard McCrumbley, the acting planning manager, will give the staff report.
The acting planning manager. Oh my goodness. Her office isn't even cold yet.
Go ahead and act away, Bernard.
Go ahead, Bernard.
And new father, too.
Oh,
Oh,
Chris.
wow, man.
Congratulations.
My heart is full.
Mhm.
Well, good afternoon.
Your mic.
That's okay. He's new.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of the council. Before we begin today, I would like to congratulate Team Inglewood um, and formally announce that as of November 29th, the City of Inglewood has a fully compliant housing element. The Development Service Department and the Planning Division would like to thank you, Mayor, and members of the council for your leadership and foresight that allowed us to achieve this monumental task. We want to thank our city manager, Mr. Artie Fields, our director, Mr. Chris Jackson, our former planning manager, Mindy Wilcox, our HUD director, Mr. Roberto Chavez, planning staff, our consultants with the Arroyo Group, and the many stakeholders and community members who provided feedback along the journey. One of the programs of this housing element cycle was the state is holding us to the adoption to is the adoption of an ADU ordinance. And this brings us to our public hearing today. In 2016, the state passed legislation aimed at streamlining the creation of accessory dwelling units and JADUs, or junior accessory dwelling units, statewide. The legislation mandated that all counties and cities must allow construction of one or more ADUs on all residentially zoned properties. The purpose of this legislation was to help address the state's housing crisis. And on November 1st, the Planning Commission recommended that this body approve the ordinance that is before you today. I would also like to note that staff intended to bring forth this ordinance a number of years ago, but due to the fantastic growth of this city under your leadership, we had to slow the development of this ADU ordinance down to make sure that we were able to keep track of all the development that was happening throughout the city, so kudos to you. So what is an ADU? An ADU is a residential unit that is accessory to the primary unit on the same lot that contains and is complete independent living from the primary dwelling for one or more persons. A JADU is a residential unit that is accessory to the primary unit as well, but is no more than 500 square feet in size and is contained entirely within the building, the primary dwelling's building envelope. Here on the screen, I have a couple of just really quick comparisons that synthesize the information I just gave you. Again, an ADU is fully independent, can be detached or attached, and is allowed on single-family and multifamily dwellings, whereas a JADU can have shared facilities, is attached to the single-family dwelling only. They're not allowed in multifamilies, and they have to be contained, again, within the single-family building envelope. In preparation of this ordinance, staff reviewed a number of approved ADU ordinances across the state and regionally and here in the South Bay area. The ADUs the ordinance will address both definitions for accessory dwelling units and junior accessory dwelling units. And some of those proposed regulations include maximum unit size, design standards, landscaping, so on and so forth. It's also noted that through the preparation of this ordinance, the state has mandated regulations that we are beholden to through the development of our ordinance, which include the number of ADUs allowed on the site, setback requirements, minimum height, parking requirements, and the minimum unit sizes. So I want to briefly run through the different types of ADUs that we see here and kind of give you a quick rundown as to what's allowed. So a new detached ADU has a minimum square footage of 150 square feet with a maximum of 1,000 square feet, or 100% of the primary dwelling square footage, whichever is less. Currently, the state allows a maximum square footage of 1,200 square feet for ADU. So our regulations are a little bit more restrictive than what the state allows currently and what we've been allowing in the absence of an ordinance. The side and rear setbacks are 4 feet, and we're proposing to limit the height of these ADUs to 1 story. Currently, detached ADUs are allowed to be 2 stories per the state guidelines, which again are,
Say that again?
uh,
please?
the state allows for 2-story ADUs currently, and we're proposing to restrict that to 1 story.
Okay, so, w- I'm glad that, ordinarily we let public speak last, but, so why did we come to the conclusion we only wanted them to have 1 story?
Well, because the reduced setback of 4 feet creates an environment that can be a little intrusive to adjacent properties. And so generally for a single-family home that has an addition to it, they have to maintain a 25-foot setback and at minimum a 20 feet depending on the zoning. So that additional square footage and open space allows for a lot less visibility and a little bit more privacy for the adjacent property owners and residents.
Okay, I hate to interrupt, but, if I have a 2-story house, and I'm tell you because I live next to a 2-story house, they look right down in my window, and they look right down in my backyard, and that's like a fact of life. First time I'm really just like agreeing with
Well,
not the public, but someone obviously with a monetary
Yeah.
interest. But I have to tell you that just doesn't make sense to me. My neighbor in his house looks down into my window.
I have the perspective of that staff is introducing. The ADU law was implemented by the state, and we adopted it because we basically had to.
Mhm.
Now, when I also have a 2-story home, and I know what the
Yeah,
views
that's
are.
just looking down on me.
Yeah, right. But my point is that when folks move into the neighborhood, they know where they're moving into. They move into a location and they see that next door is a 2-story home. When you moved into your recent home, you knew there was a 2-story home next to it.
Yeah, but
Now,
but I was desperate to get it at a
but
good price.
yeah, but see that's the point. That's the point. The point is you had the opportunity to make that choice. Whereas now, folks that have been there 20, 30 years that have enjoyed the privacy of their yard, their neighbor not only doesn't have to fulfill the 20-foot setback set by staff that requires our original housing plan to give that privacy, but they've gone one step further and they've gone up and now they can intrude. I was listening very well to the developer here in the audience, and while I can understand his points, there are 2 things that are happening here. One is that we've taken the ADU, which we must, and we've allowed some good residential ADUs to happen, but we still have to protect our neighborhood. And in addition, we have some things coming down in legislation. We currently have SB 9, which is extremely intrusive. And if we have the ability to limit ourselves now, I believe it's important. And I only say that because there are 2 things that are very important here to this actual point. One is the fact that when we originally made our homes, we made it a point to say you must be 20 feet away from the other guy.
Mhm.
Okay. Whereas here, because the ADU law is relaxed, they don't have to fulfill those things. So that's already intrusive, let alone if you start to really impose a development that folks did not buy into. These are folks that are impacted by legislation alone. A 40-year resident is impacted by legislation in Sacramento trying to address a housing issue they have nothing to do with.
Mhm.
And so here, for instance, I actually, took a look at this in the perspective that you're bringing it, Bernard. While it's not perfect, we make it a point to protect our neighborhood here, and I believe that for me, that's an important point. I know this isn't the time that we chose to do this, but I'm actually glad you pointed it out
Mhm.
right now, Mayor, because I can see where you're coming from. But I also believe that, for instance, I'll just say you live in the high rent district over there, but for homes that are so
Close
closely
together.
aligned,
Yeah.
and that where we already have a parking issue and we're limited in space,
Mhm.
you know, the impact is great.
Know this, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Oh, well, okay.
I'm speaking for the gentleman, but before I speak further, Councilman Padilla.
Thank you, Mayor. And I got to say, the state has given us so many mandates, especially when it we're going to talk about ADUs, right? All these restrictions, you're taking away parking because you can put an ADU where your garage would have been. You don't have to provide the parking space like we used to before. And then by people being able to build a second story 4 feet away from your property line, where for many years you may have lived there and had that, that privacy, if you will. Now you got somebody right at your property line. I think that's kind of intrusive. And, I know I wouldn't like that, as I look, but it's not about me. It's about what is the right thing to do. What do we believe? Being mindful of what the state is regulating, and when I look at it, I also look at those people that live in single-family neighborhoods, single story, that are not going to have these folks 4 feet away from their property line, butting right up against them, and they didn't buy into that. And so I feel for that, and so I come at it from that perspective.
Okay. So now I'm gonna tell you how I really feel about it.
Can I add something?
Of
Mayor?
course you can.
Thank
We'd
you,
love
Mayor.
for you to.
So really quick, I just want to weigh in and say that I totally agree with this recommendation because, so I live in the Renaissance and I bought in, like we've been saying, if you bought into it, then you know what you're getting. But in my house is right next door to the next house and our bathrooms are right next door to each other.
5 feet away.
So, I mean, it feels like it, Mayor.
5 feet away.
I mean,
I used to
have
live there. I hated it.
I have to close my blinds to make sure that my neighbors can't see me taking a shower. I mean, it is really bad. And I keep my blinds closed. So I understand the concern about people who haven't had to deal with this and now they're having to, because that's a whole different way of life. You have to really monitor yourself, especially as a woman. So it changes the game. So I totally support this recommendation because I feel it's important, especially for kids, for women. You want to make sure that you have the privacy, and so and you don't when you're building that close together.
Well, it's interesting. I had the same experience that you did. I lived in the Renaissance for 4 years, and if my neighbors smoke weed, I got high.
Yeah, that too.
So
I get the contact.
So
Yes.
who allowed that setback
I don't
in the
know.
Renaissance? I want to find that person.
I wasn't here.
But what the point is, and for the total education of it, the state passes laws for the state in general, and what they're trying to do is create more housing. And but the reality is that one size does not fit all. You may have areas in Beverly Hills where they have extremely large lots. Inglewood, by and large, does not have large lots. And so I wanted people to understand why we're going against something. People say, well, are you guys anti-housing creation? No, we're pro-neighborhood integrity and neighborhood preservation. And that's why I made it look like, I was agreeing with it. But go ahead, continue on.
Thank you for the support. And it's not all bad. This ordinance included some measures that help to streamline the approval process of ADUs. For example, garage conversions no longer require a planning approval because they're subject to meeting building code regulations. They would go straight to building plan check, which will shave off about a month or more in their approval process. The same could be said for multifamily, non-livable, an attached ADU would also be subject to the same setback requirements, height limitations, and square footages. But a multifamily ADU that converts non-livable floor area, and what I mean by non-livable floor area, we're talking about garages, we're talking about boiler rooms, any type of storage spaces or things of that nature, would also be converted without the requirement of a site plan review. we would allow those to be approved over the counter. And again, that shaves off even more time, almost 2 months or more from the approval process. And along with this ordinance, it also included some general design standards that, objective design standards, such as matching the roof pitch of the existing home, window casings, color to match the primary dwelling, continuing to match exterior finishes. And for those second-story ADUs that have been constructed that will now be considered legal nonconforming, in the event that they want to make some changes to their home, we have also included some design standards related to window placement to maximize privacy for adjacent residents. And this concludes staff's presentation, and so I'll be happy to answer any additional questions or that you may have.
There shouldn't be any more questions. Is anyone going to move item 1?
Second.
I'll move item 1.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Fogg,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. Motion to waive further reading.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Fogg,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. I'll introduce. Consent calendar, items 2 through 10.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Fogg,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. DR1.
Staff report recommending that the mayor and council members award a contract and approve a 3-year agreement with ACO Engineered System, Inc. for the purchase and installation of Civic Center high-capacity air filters project per RFB 0168.
Move 1 and 2.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Fogg,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. 01.
Staff report recommending that the mayor and council members introduce the attached updated salary ordinance for fiscal year 2023 through 2024.
Motion
One
to
and
waive
two.
further reading.
Motion to waive further reading. Madam City Clerk.
You have a second, Mayor?
He seconds.
Okay. Council members Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Fogg,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye.
You want to introduce?
I'll
that one?
introduce it. Go ahead. A1,
Thank you, Mayor. No oral reports from the city attorney's office.
CM1,
Thank you, Mayor. There are no oral reports from the city manager's office.
CC1.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Real quickly, want to thank the Kia Forum for inviting me to attend the Christmas tree lighting there at the Forum. It was a great experience. The Kia Forum had it hooked up for all of our residents, the kids. It was fantastic. So again, kudos to them. And then not forgetting our very own city staff, Thomas Uall and Teresa Estrada in our Parks and Rec department. You guys were fantastic. We have an outstanding Parks and Rec department, and our Christmas tree lighting was amazing. Thank you, Mayor. That concludes my remarks.
Thank you so much. I think that we're at CC2.
Yes, monthly treasurer's report for the month ending October 31st, 2023.
Receive and file the successor agencies in session, CSA2.
Monthly treasurer's report for the month ending October 31st, 2023.
Receive and file adjourn the successor agency, the housing authority in session, H2.
Monthly treasurer's report for the month ending October 31st, 2023.
Receive and file will adjourn the housing authority, the JPAs in session, JPA1.
Monthly treasurer's report for the month ending October 31st, 2023.
Will receive and file will adjourn the JPA. There are no appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. Public comment for 1 minute. Any persons wishing to address City Council on any matter not connected with the agenda or the public hearing may do so at this time.
Hello and Merry Christmas, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. My name is Jasmine Leon Guerrero, and I'm District Representative for State Senator Stephen Bradford. I just wanted to invite you all and your families and the entire community of Inglewood to come to Senator Bradford's Christmas Fair and Toy Giveaway. That's going to be this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Cal State Dominguez Hills in their front lawn. We're going to be giving away some toys and gifts to children 0 to 18 years old. We will also have COVID and flu vaccine immunizations provided by Walgreens. We'll have a real snow exhibit, and we'll have a nice little ramp for the kids to go down and a little play area. We also have some face paintings, some photo ops with Santa, and some community resources and crafts, activities, and some snacks as well, and some hot chocolate. And I wanted to invite you all, and feel free to call me at 310-412-6120, and I can send the families a registration link for their kids so that they can receive a toy. And I also wanted to get my hats off to the Inglewood Parks and Rec Department and all of City Council. That was an amazing event that I went to for the tree lighting, and my hat's off to you, my Santa's hat off to you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Hello, and thank you for this time. I'm a tenant here in Inglewood, and you were speaking about ADUs. The property owner where I live, she had an ADU built that was not permitted, and she actually has a tenant living there. Someone called code enforcement. Code enforcement came out last year regarding the illegal unit, and they found a plethora of violations. I have reached out to code enforcement, Inglewood City Housing Department, LA County Health Department, Building and Safety. Tomorrow makes 3 months that we've been dealing with mold. The property owner has not remedied that, and LA County Health Department has been out 3 times. Building and Safety, Inglewood Building and Safety came out and said the roof is sinking. No one's done anything. Code enforcement's come out, cited her on, back in the day there were floor heaters. The floor heater was dropped in 2016. The property owner did not feel that, so you can see from the inside of the house to underneath the house. My husband put wood over it. Code enforcement cited her on that. They also put an illegal, unpermitted heating system in the house. They ripped a hole in a square in the ceiling instead of going through the crawl space. Code enforcement cited her on that. They cited her on water damage. To date, no one has done anything, and this has been going on a year and a half. I have called Councilman Padilla. He sent me to, I don't know who it was, some manager in some other department. That person's either not in their office, can't take the call, never responds. But for Officer Laura Campos in code enforcement and Kiana Lowe in Inglewood Housing, I would be literally out of my mind. No one's done anything for us. I am absolutely disappointed in the city of Inglewood. When I say nothing, they put a notice outside the house and gave about 42 violations. She has not remedied one, not one. And no one said, yet we continue to pay our rent. She raised our rent last year illegally because of all the violations, but we still paid. No one's done anything to this lady. I personally believe that the manager in code enforcement has got to be in cahoots because he's not.
Well, wait, ma'am, that's going too far.
Okay, well,
I'm letting you go over time because I want to hear what you're saying.
Okay,
So,
allow me to
but
finish.
let's not recriminate, all right?
Okay, allow me to finish. They also, code enforcement said somehow the city attorney was going to get involved. Nothing. Nothing. No one's done anything about this lady with all of these violations. We're living in there with mold. We paid for an environmental specialist to come out. They tested the mold. It's the second worst mold. We had to tape the doors shut because it doesn't close all the way. She came and looked at it. The LA County Health Department, code enforcement, every building and safety, everybody looked at it. No one's done anything.
Bernard, is Bernard still here? No, they left. Oh, see, has a baby and he's gone. Okay, I'll tell you what, yeah, I want you to give me the address, and I'd like you to leave your phone number with the sergeant here, and we'll have somebody contact you. Okay, are there any other public comments? Okay, so with that, we will close public comment. We'll go to council comments. Councilman Padilla?
Thank you, Mayor, and we'll make sure that we reach out, try to get this thing addressed. I know several different departments have been looking into it. You know, sometimes these things take longer than we hope, but we'll certainly get on it. I want to just remind folks that City Hall will be closing December 18th to January 2nd. And we said this a couple of weeks ago at our meeting. We got to make sure the folks know that. Nobody, minimal staffing will be here at City Hall, very minimal. So please don't wait till the 11th hour because you need something checked off or you need some permits or you need some paperwork. Get your stuff in because on December 18th, it'll be too late. You'll have to wait till after the first of the year. Talk about the tree lighting event, which took place last Friday evening on Market Street. Tremendous. I want to thank all our staff, Thomas, you and your Parks and Rec staff with Teresa Estrada, everybody involved. Tremendous job. I mean, putting it together. The smile on the kids' faces, that always says it all, right? When you can see a kid running up and down, screaming, having fun, and then they're waiting in line to go sit on Santa's lap or go get their gift from Santa. Those are all, that's what makes it. That makes it worthwhile right there. And then you see the parents that are there smiling because they see their kids are happy and they're having a good time. So I want to thank everybody that came out and enjoyed that event. I also want to thank our community that came out. Saturday, I did my annual District 2 toy and canned food drive. Overwhelming, tremendous community support. Hands down, one of the most successful ones that we've had in District 2. We were able to give so many families with some toys, some canned food to the families. Santa was there. He took pictures with some of the kids. I mean, it was just a tremendous community event. And I want to thank everybody that came out to make it a success. I want to thank all the donors. There's so many to begin to name them. I know I'd miss a few, but all the donors, you know who you are. Thank you so very much for coming out and dropping off canned food, cereal, gifts, everything for our children and for their families. Mayor, I'd like you to close in the honor of a very dear friend and my neighbor, Leonard Mobley. Unfortunately, he passed away last week while he was out of state in Las Vegas for a funeral services for a family member, and then he went through his crisis and didn't make it. And so may his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Dion Falk.
Thank you, Mayor. So we had 2 wonderful tree lighting ceremonies in the city of Inglewood. We had our very own right here in downtown Inglewood, and it was amazing. I feel like every year it gets better and better. And my kids had a ball. So whenever they have a good time, I have a good time. There they are with the mayor. They love the mayor. Congratulations to Thomas U. Hall and his staff on a very successful event. And then also I want to congratulate Kia Forum on their tree lighting ceremony. That was beautiful as well. And they really stepped it up this year as well. So I just really am so happy for our kids that they get to experience these type of events right here in their own city. They don't have to go to another city to have this experience. So it's wonderful. Also, I want to congratulate Inglewood Unified School District. They had a ribbon cutting ceremony for their new field weight room at Coleman Stadium. And the council members were there, and Mayor spoke on our behalf for the city of Inglewood. That was today. I think we have some pictures. Come on, Thomas. Anyway, so that was today, and congratulations to Inglewood Unified School District. Also, I think you guys, there are the pictures. And that is Dr. Morris, the county administrator. So we had some great pictures there. Congratulations again, Inglewood Unified School District. And then also the LA Rams today did a major food distribution today. I think everybody saw the traffic in District 4. It was huge. I mean, it was cars lined up all the way down Prairie. It was crazy. But hopefully our families and a lot of families that are struggling were able to participate and get the help they need, the assistance they need, and get donated food and other items. So congratulations, SoFi Stadium, the Rams, on assisting families during this very important time of the year. I am having two toy giveaways. The first one is Friday. I will be blessing some of our beautiful kids at Inglewood Unified School District this Friday. I have identified kids in our school that are in need of additional services, and I am providing those services to them. So that will happen, and I'm going to extend it. It says till 3, but we will be out there until 6 to make sure all of our kids that are on that list, on Santa's list, get their toys. And then also we are having our Winter Wonderland this Sunday. We will have our mayor and council members out. They'll give remarks. There's going to be snow sledding and a snowman and kids fun for the kids, all kinds of great and exciting things for them to do. So bring your kids, come on out and have a good time. I'd like to close, Mayor, in honor of 2 people. The first is a resident of the District 4. It's Margaret Jones. She is a longtime resident of District 4 and a member of the Second Avenue Block Club. So may God rest her soul, Margaret Jones, District 4, and I will be presenting a resolution at her service. And then also I would like to ask everyone to keep our District 1 Councilwoman, Gloria Gray, in your prayers. She has had a significant loss and she needs support. Please respect her privacy. But yes, we would like to close in honor of her husband, her significant other. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilman Ella Morales.
Yeah, and I'll open with that, Mr. Leonard Tibbs, which is the life partner of Gloria Gray. And we're all just with Gloria right now. I mean, it's really difficult to kind of go through that. We've all been through something similar while we were up here on the council. So our heart goes out to her. Some of the same things in regards to celebrating our tree lightings. I have to say that the Kia one was really nice. They made a considerable effort to really, treat the kids to some special food, drink. I mean, and I should say that obviously they're connected to the Clippers, so it's the Clippers and the Forum that did it. I think it's like their 3rd year in a row that they do it this big. So I have to say, it was packed with people. So that was great. And then our own, of course, was on December 1st, which was a similar kind of outing there.
It was bigger.
That was the big one. Those are being
Bigger.
2 of my 3 boys. But so we had a good time out there December 1st. It's always a good time. I can tell you that it was nice to see Crozier out there singing. It was nice to see some of the music. And just folks having a good time. And I think, Market Street is just one of the nicest places for us to have these type of events. So I hope that continues. Also today, like Councilwoman Falk said, the Inglewood Unified School District opened up their new weight room. And I'll tell you that they did a great job of kind of talking about the folks that really sponsored the weight room that day, the folks that came together to give the grants. But some of the things that stood out to me is that sometimes, when you're an athlete and you're playing on a sports team, sometimes it's just nice to walk into a facility that's that nice. To get up at 6 a.m. and go lift weights is something that nice. So it's nice to see that we're now, the school district is following the beat here in the city, and they're doing great things. So congratulations for that. That's it.
Okay.
Thanks.
That was kind of abrupt.
Oh, sorry. Should I keep going? I'll give you. That's all I got today, Mayor.
Okay. Well, not to be redundant, but I will be. The forum, they have really, the Kia Forum, owned by, they own the Clippers now, but they've really been really big in the city. And what I really love to see is that they had like an ice skating rink, they had the big tree, they had a karaoke little stand, and you just see all the happy parents and children. And then that's an idea of how big the crowd was. But then when you get to Market Street, I think we even had more people because we had people coming all night. And I want to also mention that these nice jackets that you see, The city clerk provided those for everybody. They're $59.95 on Amazon. And it's just, I've been around the city since 1972. And never in all this time have I ever seen the community so uplifted and people in general. And that's our Santa. He's been our Santa forever. I won't tell you his name until he retires, but it was just a great couple days for the community. And I want to thank the volunteers. Now, this thing on Market Street was not easy, and it was put together all by volunteers. Sharice Rhodes, City of Landavernie, Maria Barbara. I want to thank our videography unit, Thomas, Carlos, Alani, KD. They're always giving their time to make sure that we have history of what happens in this city. We had some other volunteers, Barbara Hibbler, who's on our traffic commission, Greg Taylor, Jennifer Williams, and her children, King Williams and Capri Williams. This was an all-volunteer put-together event, and I just want to congratulate them and give them a big hand. And, I knew Leonard Tibbs very well. I've known he and Gloria since I started running for office in February of 2010. And they're like an anchor couple in the community. I don't know anybody that hasn't been at an event at their house, because they always open up their house and have community events. And this is, Leonard is just a really special person. I knew him well, just great man. And so, my condolences to Gloria and her family. And, this is going to be a tough time. And so I'm going to close in the name of Margaret Jones, Leonard Mobley. And didn't you give me a second name? No, it's okay. So, no, you mentioned Mr. Tibbs again.
Yeah, Leonard.
Okay, so that's it. So we'll close in the name of Leonard Tibbs, Margaret Jones, and Leonard Mobley. And we're adjourned.
Thank you, Mayor.